All right, if you're trying to grow on social media right now, you have to understand that the game has completely changed. So we're going to break down the new, kind of counterintuitive strategy that actually works today and show you why that old playbook might be the very thing holding you back. Let's dive in.
You know the feeling, right? You're putting in the hours, you're grinding, posting all this content. And what do you get? Crickets. The follower count barely moves, the views are flat. It is probably the most frustrating thing for creators and businesses out there right now.
But what if I told you the problem isn't that your content is bad? The real problem is you're playing a game with a rulebook that's like 10 years out of date. I mean, the whole ground is literally shifted beneath our feet. And honestly, most people have no idea.
Okay, let's just get right into it. Part 1. Your social strategy is just wrong. Let's look at the huge change that made all the old advice totally useless.
Okay, so think about it. For like 20 years, social media was actually social. They were built so you could connect with friends and family. And then 2020 hits, and bam, TikTok just explodes onto the scene. And TikTok wasn't about connecting with your friends. No way. It was this giant fire hose of content, just pure media consumption. And it worked so ridiculously well that all the other big players, Instagram, YouTube, you name it, they totally panicked and just copied the whole model. So here's the takeaway. Social media, it's not really social anymore. It's just media.
So that massive shift brings us to the new game. And this is the part you really got to understand. It's called audience matching. Getting this one concept is the key to everything.
Let's really break this down, side by side. The old game, right? It was simple. You made stuff, it got shown to your followers. That was it. But the new game, it's all about one thing: consumption. Keeping you watching for as long as humanly possible. And to pull that off, the platforms will show your videos to absolutely anyone, strangers, followers, it doesn't matter, if they think that person will watch.
And this whole process? It has a name. It's audience matching. The best way to think about it is like the algorithm is this super smart, kind of creepy matchmaker. Its one and only job is to take your video and find the absolute perfect person to watch it, somewhere on the platform. See, the better that match is, the longer people watch. The longer they watch, the more ads the platform can show them. And, well, the more money it makes.
Okay, so this is the part you need to tattoo on your brain. Your job is not to build a following anymore, not in the old sense. Your one and only job now is to make it ridiculously easy for that matchmaker algorithm to figure out two things. What is this video about and who is it for? You do that, you help it make that perfect match, and it will reward you with all the reach you could ever want.
So, how do we actually do that? Well, it comes down to following 3 rules that are going to feel totally counterintuitive.
All right, rule number 1, and this one might sting a little. We all want to go viral, right? We dream about those millions of views, but what if I told you that one of those huge viral videos could actually be the single worst thing to happen to your brand?
Okay, here's why. There are 2 very different kinds of virality. First, there's what we'll call pure virality. This is the trap. It's when you post something super broad and generic and it kind of appeals to everyone, but that just completely confuses the algorithm. It's like, whoa, I've got cat lovers and car guys and accountants all watching this. Who the heck do I show the next video to? It has no clue. But on-target virality, that's the goal. This isn't about getting a tiny piece of everyone. It's about getting a huge piece of a very specific niche audience. And that trains the algorithm perfectly. It learns exactly who you're for.
So yeah, it really all boils down to that old saying. You've got to forget trying to please everyone. The algorithm would much rather you be an absolute rock star to a small, dedicated group than just meh to a huge general audience. Because that's where the trust is. That's where the business is.
Okay, rule number 2. Please stop trying to be everywhere. You know the advice, right? You got to be on all 6 platforms. No, that is it's terrible advice for most of us. All it does is lead to total burnout and a bunch of kind of crappy, stretch-thin content. So here's the new rule. Pick one. Just one hero platform where you know your people, your customers are hanging out, and then just go all in. And I mean for a solid 6 months, do nothing else. Just master that one platform. That intense focus is what trains the algorithm. It's how you become a pillar of that community.
And that leads us perfectly into rule number 3, which is probably my favorite. You need to stop thinking about your social media presence as this big, connected ecosystem. Think of it this way. Each platform is its own island. And you know what? Instagram hates it when you try to build a bridge to send its citizens over to the island of YouTube. They will literally sink your bridge by crushing your reach. The right way? Create amazing, native content that makes people love living on that island. The only bridge you should ever build is a ferry from their island, which you are just renting space on, by the way, to the one island you actually own, your email list.
All right, last section. Let's talk about the money, because this is where this new strategy really pays off, but probably not in the way that you're thinking.
To really get it, you have to understand something called the content stack. It's a really simple way of looking at the creator economy that shows you exactly where the money is and where it isn't.
So there are 3 layers to this stack. Simple enough. On the bottom, you've got the platform layer. That's your YouTube, your TikTok, the infrastructure. Way up at the top, you've got the offering layer. These are the actual products and services being sold. And then, who's stuck right there in the middle? Yep, that's the media layer. That's us, the creators.
And folks, this next part, this is the brutal, honest-to-God truth of the creator economy. Pretty much all of the value, all of the money, gets captured by the platforms at the bottom and the offerings at the top. And that media layer in the middle, where we live, it captures the tiniest little slice. Think about that. We, the creators, generate all the attention, all the content, and we walk away with the smallest piece of the pie. It's kind of crazy.
So what's the takeaway? Is that relying on AdSense and brand deals, well, it's a losing game. You're fighting for scraps. The real strategy, the winning strategy, is to use your media, your content, for one thing, to get attention. And then you funnel that attention off their island and over to your island, your own products, your own services. That's where you control the offering layer, and that's where you capture the real value. So, at the end of the day, it really just comes down to one simple question you have to ask yourself. Are you just trying to build an audience, hoping to get some scraps from the platforms? Or are you trying to build a real business using these platforms as the powerful tools they are? The playbook is right here. The choice is yours.